Well, it's a complicated case. The Supreme Court's judgment is absolutely far-reaching. It means that so many people on death row who had been hoping that their death sentence would be commuted to life in jail, that will not happen anymore. And it should be clarified that the cases of members of the Veerappan gang or of Rajiv Gandhi's killers will still come up in the Supreme Court, but a precedent has been set by this judgment. We're going to be looking at all of this. But let me just introduce our panel this evening. Joining us, Pinky Anand, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court and member of the BJP's National Executive. Thank you very much for being with us. Also with us, Navneet Kaur, wife of Devinder Pal Singh Bhullar. Thank you, ma'am. It's a difficult day for you. We appreciate your coming to share your views on this program. Dr. Suhas Chakma, Director of the Asian Centre for Human Rights. Justice R.S. Sodhi, former judge of the Delhi High Court. Dushyant Dave, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court. N. Ram, former Editor-in-Chief of The Hindu, and H.S. Bains, Media Advisor to the Chief Minister of Punjab. Thank you all for joining us. It's a power-packed panel this evening. Mr. Bains, let me come to you first. Your reaction on the verdict of the Supreme Court.
At this stage, because we haven't gone into the details of the judgment, and but as far as the other side of it is concerned, no, I'm not here to plead on behalf of anyone for mercy or something, but I'm here to look at the whole issue from the national angle and from the angle of long-term national interests. The legal side, obviously you got the experts there who would be talking about it, and I'm not even qualified to do that. But our concern has always been and still is, how is there a window for operationalizing statesmanship in the entire thing, and wherein do our national
So why don't you say it straight? Do you consider this an unfortunate judgment? We are told that the Akali Dal and the SGPC have considered this judgment unfortunate. Is that your stand, that you believe that justice has not been delivered? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, I just said that as far as the justice part is concerned, that is a legal thing, and I haven't gone through the judgment as yet, so I'll not like to comment on that, certainly not today. But I'm saying unfortunate in the sense, yes, anything which sort of opens up a possibility of return to bad old days, yes, but I'm still not there. I'm just talking about.
But Mr. Bains, you're not being direct at all. Is this because of the sensitivities that you face in your state? Right. I mean, this is a state issue. It's a national issue. Terrorism is an international issue as well. Why are you vacillating on this subject? If the Supreme Court has ruled today, definitely, why can't you welcome that judgment? Why can't you go beyond what has happened in the past? Or are political considerations too important for you at this stage?
You just said that, in fact, that you said I'm not going beyond what happened in the past. In fact, I'm asking you also and everybody in the country to go beyond that and to not, cry for eye for an eye and tooth for. See, what I'm arguing about here is not Devinder Pal Singh Bhullar or the killer of Rajiv Gandhi or XYZ. What I'm looking at is wherein does our national interest lie? If it lies in reopening old wounds and stuff like that, and if satisfies somebody's vendetta, somebody's revenge motive, fine. But does it really, is it likely to leave an impact on
so sir, I'll take your explanation because I'm afraid it's not, your answer is not direct and there are political sensitivities. I'll come back to you in a moment. I want to go across to Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress. I'll come back to you in a moment, sir. I want to go across to Dr. Singhvi, who joins me at this stage. Dr. Singhvi, your first reaction to this judgment of the Supreme Court?
Let me start by saying that political parties don't really react to judgments. Judgments are given by courts of law, and I don't think a political party for which I speak has taken any decision on it. So I'm speaking as much in my capacity as a man of the law as in politics. Second, I personally, as a member of the legal fraternity, welcome the judgment. I think it's the correct judgment. Personally speaking, I do not think that this principle of non-executable death sentences merely on account of delay is an easy principle to handle. There are a wide number of implications when a matter is pending, delay caused by whom, to what extent by obstructive tactics, to what extent by the prisoner himself or his family or those acting as proxy on their behalf, how much delay is attributable only to the state. So a mercy petition or a death sentence converted to not death sentence only on the ground of delay is a very dangerous proposition to handle in practice. And I am glad that the Supreme Court has more or less made that clear. I
But
do,
Dr. Singh,
however, think that is absolutely right. One second more. I think it's absolutely right that the government has been directed and in fact criticized. I think that's right for any department to be criticized, that they must be reminding constantly that delay should not occur. I think alacrity, which the Supreme Court has emphasized, is important. If there has been administrative bureaucratic delay in the department not chasing the file at the President's level, I think it's a good signal that this should happen in the future, and I think we should take it in a humble spirit of implementing in the future.
But Dr. Singhvi,
Because
what
when
you're
I say
referring to,
that is a legal principle. Yes.
what you're referring to is not just bureaucratic or administrative delays, sir. The Supreme Court in its judgment today, and I'm reading from it, says during the period 2005 May and May 2011, immense pressure was brought upon the government in the form of representations by various political and non-political functionaries, organizations, several individuals from other countries. This appears to be one of the reasons why the file remained pending in the President's Secretariat. No effort was made for deciding the petitioner's case. This was the government under pressure. It wasn't just a bureaucratic delay. This is what the Supreme Court says. How do you react, sir?
No, I think the last two sentences the Supreme Court did not say. The rest of everything the Supreme Court has said.
No, sir, this
I think
is
every
a
government
copy from the
must
order,
take
sir.
it with a. No, the last sentence which you said, government under pressure. That
No,
I
sir,
hope
that's
is not
my
the Supreme
question
Court
to you.
saying.
No, that's my interpretation of that statement.
Now,
Yes.
my answer is simple. Whatever you've read is, I think, to be taken, should be taken, must be taken as constructive criticism by the government, and I don't think anybody takes it remiss. There can't be two views that such files must be chased with alacrity. But inbuilt into that Supreme Court mandate is the fact, which is uncontrollable, that different interest groups in our country keep on representing, sometimes delaying and obstructing. And that is something which is very difficult to handle.
But that's also
But
part
as
of
far
the
as the
natural,
comment on the
the
government is
natural course of justice, sir. I mean, wouldn't you agree that till the very end there needs to be a constant process of appeals which should be permitted?
I don't think that till the very end phrase I agree with, because
Okay.
many of these are repetitive, many of these are, you see, now suppose after this judgment, tomorrow a date is fixed for hanging. Let me give you an example. I'm not talking of A case or B case. And somebody is technically entitled to still approach the Supreme Court on some kind of a point. I think it should be made very clear that unless it's something absolutely novel or different, not merely old things dressed up in new garb, it should not be allowed. Because actually you are prolonging the agony and the terror and the problem with the man on death row. Of course, this is a bizarre case where Bhullar himself is
So you
very
agree with the
loudly
petitioner,
shouting
sir?
that
You
people should not
agree
be-
then with the petitioner? Because that's what the, that,
No.
Because
No,
that's what
I'm
they've
not
been
agreeing. I'm
saying, that
after
there-
you've exhausted. No. I'm saying after you've exhausted, for example, today's judgment,
Yes.
and a date is fixed for hanging, if you have yet another prolongation attempt, you are actually doing disservice to the person. I'm saying that kind of thing should be allowed only with something genuinely new,
Yes.
not merely repeated pleas dressed up.